What's up, guys? Aloha and welcome to another segment of Take 5 with Paikai. Today we will be talking about connection to children, or in Hawaiian we say keiki. One of the greatest joys of my life was becoming a father. And a little backstory here. I wanted to only have 2 kids. You know, I come from a family of 5, the oldest of 5, and only really wanted 2 kids. And I thought, you know, we'll have 2 kids and we'll live a good life. But met my wife and she said, no, I want to have a big family. And you know, if you follow me, we have 4 beautiful children. Kalino age 10, Ka'elele age 9, Kaha'i age 8, and Ha'ale age 7. And you know, again, I'll mention that it was probably the greatest experience becoming a father for the first time. And as we had our children, being able to share our lives and hold these bundles of joy. You know, if you go to if you're a Christian, or if you read the Bible, then you understand that the Bible declares that children are a heritage of the Lord and from the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is a very good thing, right? And so having children was just it brought me great joy. And now as I watched my children grow, I realized, you know, how much of a great role model I had in my own upbringing with my parents. My father was a great father, and I have very vivid memories of him raising us. And my mom, you know, an exceptionally good mother. I believe that I have the best mom on the planet, and I'm sure each and every one of you who are watching this will say, no, I have the best mom on the planet. And you know, to each his own. In my humble opinion, I believe that my mom is probably one of the greatest, strongest women that I have ever met. I had the pleasure of meeting and knowing. And so, you know, in my line of work, in working with youth and in teaching young people, I see a lot of the struggles that they face. And for me, being able to provide a safe environment for not only my children but also the children that I work with is very important to me. And so this line of work that I've chosen to go into really encompasses making sure that we provide safe environments for our children, but also allow them the chance to actually grow up and make mistakes, and not try and coddle and account for every single move that they make. And I think being able to understand that as parents and as teachers and as mentors, it's really important for us to allow children to make those mistakes and to kind of grow up knowing that they have the ability and the resources to do what is necessary for them to grow and to learn. And so I do this work knowing that I have a very good, supportive family that helps in nurturing and raising my own children, because I feel like it would be detrimental if I went out and I took care of other people's children, and I went out and I taught and I took care of these young men that I work with in the foster care system, and not have my own set of loved ones caring for and nurturing my own children. So I do this line of work knowing that my children are in very good hands. And so I have the opportunity to spend as much time, because we homeschool is another thing that my wife and I agreed upon prior to getting married, that when we did get married, we agreed that we would homeschool our children because she was homeschooled. I went to public school, and then I got into private school, and we kind of saw where the public school system was going and didn't necessarily care for what was happening, and so we decided to homeschool our own children. And there are a lot of sacrifices that need to be made, and I give props to people who homeschool their children because it's a great undertaking. But, and I say this with the most sincere what do you say intention, that it's great. I enjoy it. Our children, they're alive, they're thriving, they're able to pick up and go with us whenever we travel abroad, and if we have to leave them home, we know that they are in good hands. And so my connection to my children is very important to me, and it's very important that I spend as much time as possible living and learning and experiencing life with my children, making sure as much as possible we create a great environment for them to grow up in, a great positive environment for them to grow up in. And so I feel like now it is my responsibility to go out and take that out to our vulnerable children, and in this case it would be the foster youth that I work with. And as a part-time teacher at Keiki High School, it's the same concept there, working with special ed kids. And so it really is an opportunity for me to pour out of myself and pour out what has been given to me into the lives of these young men and women, to ensure that we give them some kind of positivity. And so my connection really runs deep with children. And I remember growing up and being a young man, and just kind of watching how people grew and interacted with other people. And you can kind of see what happens in the home just by the way that these children, when they quote unquote act out, you can see that there are a lot of hurt, and there's a lot of shame and a lot of trauma that they experience. And in my line of work, is very important. The agency that I work with, one of the things that they really stress on us is to actually take care of ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, it's hard for us to give out to others, right? And so part of my self-care is actually spending time with my kids. They bring me so much joy, so much happiness, and they remind me of how good it is as a young child, knowing that you have protection and that you have a great environment to there's no cares, there's no worries, you don't think about the burdens that we think about as adults now. You don't think about those things because you know that at the end of the day you'll get a good meal. And I'm sure that this is not typical in every house, but it is a great joy to be able to use my time with my children as a way to just re-energize me and help me to facilitate what it is that I do out in the community and I do in my line of work. And especially with this journey that we are embarking on in taking care of our Hawaiian people, because you have to understand that our Hawaiian community has struggled, and there are a lot of traumatic things that have happened at the hands of others and at the hands of their own loved ones. And it's very important for us to realize that in stepping into this role, we need to address these issues of hurt. And it really goes back to finding them as children and looking at them as we do with our own children, that we want to give them that sense of love and that sense of nurturing that they have not necessarily missed out on, but have been overshadowed by so much other things and cares that can kind of just bring you down, right? And so, again, it really is just an opportunity for me to show, you know, this is my life. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy coming home to my children. I enjoy seeing their smiling faces. I don't enjoy disciplining them, but I understand that discipline is also very necessary for them to grow up, to give them that kind of structure that they need. And I'm not talking about beating them. It's literally just you talk to them every once in a while. If you gotta spank them, you spank them. You know, and that's just this is just what I do. I don't have to spank my children anymore because as soon as I say as soon as I call out their name and I give them the look, start crying already. They know that something is wrong, and so it's a double-edged sword, but it really is a joy for me to be a father and to connect with not only my children but the young men and women that I work with on a daily basis. And I look forward to carrying this over into the work that we continue to do, because at the end of the day, the one thing that I look to do is to make sure that our children, the generations to come, that they have the connections and that we connect them to the resources that they need and that they deserve. And you know, I feel that this is my responsibility, and this is why I am stepping up to the plate to ensure that our future generations have the opportunities and are provided with the opportunities that a lot of my generation and the generations that have gone before me missed out on. And if I can do that, then I know that I've done that we have done, not me, that we have done collectively. We have done our job in providing the resources that our future generations deserve and need. My name is Paikai. I'm not a politician. I'm a Native Hawaiian addressing issues that affect all Hawaiians. Native Hawaiians, Hawaiians, and non-Hawaiians. Paikai for OHA, putting the trust back in trustee. Utilizing my action plan to connect our Hawaiian people to the resources they desperately need and deserve. Accountability is the first step. Collaboration is the process that will unite all parties toward one common goal. Transparency is a pivotal component of a trustworthy person. Innovation is a spark that will incite meaningful change. Opportunity is the vehicle for advancement. Now is the time. You guys have a great evening, great rest of your evening. I will talk to you guys very soon. Aloha.